Okay, so let's go over a quick update on the Vancouver Canucks and their overall buyout plan. We spoke about this a few videos ago, talking about how the Canucks may have had a pre-confirmed deal with Jake Virtanen, but they were just waiting on the right time to execute the contract, because immediately after you sign a player like Jake Virtanen, the team gets themselves a buyout window that would allow them to buy out contracts. You know how a buyout works. But essentially, there was a whole conspiracy theory going on about whether or not the Canucks have a plan. Okay, we're going to wait till this day to re-sign Jake. The next day, we're going to buy out Brandon Sutter, for example, and then we'll use that extra money to go after a D-man. Something like that. Some 3D chess type stuff going on with the Vancouver Canucks. That's what some people were speculating was going on, which is why they didn't sign Jake Virtanen immediately. We noted when they did that the buyout window did indeed open. But according to Thomas Drance, this is a tweet from earlier today. It's not a huge surprise, but with nobody on the 1-2-5 waivers today, the Vancouver Canucks will not avail themselves of the second buyout window, a team source has confirmed. The 24-hour second buyout window only applied to players on contracts with an AAV north of $4 million. So, obviously, if you're taking a look at the numbers, $4 million, that's Brandon Sutter money. He's making $4.375. He's the only one that Canucks fans were speculating the Canucks should want to buy out. We've spoken about Louis Eriksson before, how even though he is on a $6 million cap hit until 2022, his contract is pretty much buyout proof. We've made videos about this in the past talking about why an Eriksson buyout isn't worth it. But Brandon Sutter is the other guy whom people were speculating could suffer that fate. If he got bought out, he would be on the payroll for the next season, though, even though he is expiring this season, and that was an entirely new bag of worms that people were saying, okay, maybe it would be worth it, maybe it wouldn't be. Here's a reply from Dan Murphy over to Thomas Drance's tweet over here. With the probability of a shortened season and escrow likely factored in too, this is kind of why they did it. There's cap savings, yes, but a buyout could cost more into the long-term future. So there is an identifiable curse, I guess you would say. Curse is a weird word, but I'm going to use it in this context anyway, that presents itself if you do use that buyout window, and that's kind of why it's understandable to see why the Canucks didn't want to explore that buyout option. So going into next season, it looks like we will just have the guys that we have on the roster already, with that Sutter, with that Eriksson, etc. The Canucks are still over the cap, but there's a whole bunch of rumblings as to whether or not Ferland can go on LTIR. That was actually discussed earlier on the week as well. If you go over to Taj's Twitter account, here's a tweet on what Rick Dollywall said on TSN 1040, that the Canucks are going to have a heart-to-heart conversation with Michael Ferland in the near future, hinting towards Ferland maybe ending up on long-term injury reserve after that. So if Ferland goes to LTIR, then that kind of rids the Canucks of all the cap problems that they have, but obviously that's still up in the moon. We don't really know if anything is going to happen there. If it doesn't, then we're going to have to find some ways to move money elsewhere, send somebody to the AHL, trade somebody, who knows. At the end of the day, though, I think we know for certain that that buyout option is not going to be explored by the Vancouver Canucks, despite conspiracy speculation hinting towards the idea that they might. So talk to me in the comments what you think about the Vancouver Canucks and this whole buyout plan. Do you agree with it? Do you think it was the right move? I hope you enjoyed. This was Troll9, and bye.